Yo, what's good people, it's J Cactus, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to use this device to make sure that your mixes translate well across all systems. So if you're like me, you're probably not in the perfect room for mixing. I've got acoustic panels on the wall which help a little bit, but still you're never going to get a truly accurate sound. So what you find is you tend to get build-ups of certain frequencies, like in the bass for example, and then you end up mixing at wrong levels. So when you play your beat on a different system, you're like, what the f is this? So this is some crazy technology called SoundID Reference from Sonarworks. It makes your beats sound the same wherever they're played, and it's really easy to set up. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how it works, but before I do that, I'm going to need to make a beat. So let's get straight into cooking up. Alright, so for the beat, I'm thinking to go melodic drill vibes today. So I've just pulled up Evolution Modern Nylon, and I haven't got any plans for chord progressions or anything. I'm just going to click some notes in and see what sounds good. Alright, so I like the way this sounds. Quite like the sound of this. Could be catchy. So I'm just going to copy that over and then think of some kind of top line. Okay, I'm just adding some chorus to the guitar. I've linked them both to the same channel too. Okay, then I'm just adding some plate reverb. Just bringing down the mix and cutting some of the lows. Then I'm just adding another EQ just to clean out some of the bass to save room for the 808. And then I'm just adding a little bit of tape saturation. About there. I'm just moving these A sharp notes back a little bit. That sounds better. Alright, but it still needs a few more layers, so I'm going to add these aged strings from Analog Lab. I'm just going to widen them a bit more. And then add some reverb. So I've just got the same reverb on, same settings as the guitar too. Okay, and I definitely want some vocals in here, so I've just found these. I'm going to put them in time first, and then also put them in the right key. But I want to chop them up a bit. Okay, and I've just added EQ just to filter out the vocals a bit. Just a basic ping pong delay and then some reverb. Alright, and I've just found this percussion loop, but instead of playing the full loop, I've half timed it, and then I've just added EQ to filter it out. So now we've got this, and I'm just going to cut it up a bit more. Okay, so I can take this now and then just copy it over. And then for the counter snare, I'm just going to use one of the midis from my Hazy hi-hat midis kit. See, this one straight away just perfectly fits with those snares on the rim. Just bring them up a bit. Alright, and I'm just going to pull in another counter snare maybe this one. And then with this one, I'm just going to fill in some of the gaps. And then maybe one more. I'm going to copy these in, but only leave a few of them in. And of course, you already know with these melodic beats, it's got to be the fat and wide 808. Okay, so I got my first 808 pattern. Just saving a bit of space. And then just the same notes as the guitar here. Okay, let's get a couple of percs in there as well. Maybe something like this. Alright, let's get some effects in there too, some rises. Alright, so here's the source that I want to show you. So SoundID Reference opens up as a plugin. You add it as the last plugin in your master chain, and it's the only tool out there that ensures a consistent reference between headphones and monitors. So let's say, for example, you make beats on the go, or sometimes you're checking your mix on your headphones as well as your speakers. This tool is going to make sure you hear the exact same thing, and it does it by giving you a flat sound, so there's no extra boost in places like the bass, like some headphones give you. And whichever headphones you're using, they should have you covered because they support over 300 headphones. It's crazy. So look, I've opened SoundID Reference, and the first thing I'm going to do is add my headphones. I'm going to search the brand. I'm using the III wireless ones, and it's the TMA2 Studio. It shows up as wired, but that's just because it's connected to my interface. So I'm going to select the profile, and you can see it's now being calibrated. Alright, so when you're looking at this now, don't let it confuse you. It's actually really simple to understand, and I've highlighted a few things just to make it more visible. So the purple line, this is what my headphones are currently giving me. So if you're looking at this graph, just look at it like an EQ. So at 100 Hertz, that's the bass. The purple line is my headphones. So I'm actually hearing a boost in my bass without me even realizing. So to compensate for that, the software is giving me this green line, because the idea is we want to reach this target, the black line. We want a flat signal so there's no unnecessary boosts or dips. We want to hear a true sound. So because I'm getting a boost here and a dip here, the software is giving me which looks like almost the complete opposite. So then as a result of that, we get the pink line, and you can see it's almost perfectly matching the black line. So that's the idea. You want to mix with a flat signal so you're not having to overcompensate for anything. So look, this is what it sounds like before. This is how I normally hear everything. So without me realizing, I was actually hearing a boost in the bass and then a dip in the upper mids, the higher mids. So if I turn this back on, now what I'm hearing is the bass is actually kind of low. So I'm just going to bring that up a bit. I think about there should do the trick. Everything else actually sounds alright, so I'm going to run with that. So I've heard it on my headphones, but now I want to double check everything on my speakers. Alright, so I'm back to the normal setup. I just had to swap the mic whilst it was calibrating the room. The room isn't too bad. It's supposed to be a flat line if you want a really neutral sound. But you can see my room gives me a build up around about 50 Hz, another one at 175, and then one at 115. So there's definitely a lot of bass build up. And like I said, that could affect my mix because if I'm listening on monitors, I think the bass is high when in actual fact it's just my room that's causing the boost. So now if I mix with this enabled, I'm gonna hear the exact same thing if I go back to the headphones and I have this enabled too. So yeah, I think this could be sick if you're switching between setups. If you're taking your laptop somewhere and you have a different pair of headphones, you can just activate this and mix with it on, and then when you take it back home you can do the same on your normal setup, and you know you're gonna get the same results. You're not gonna waste any time having to mix things again once you take it back home. But then they also have this thing called translation check. So if you click on here, you can actually hear what it's gonna sound like in the car, on a laptop, on a smartphone, a TV, studio speakers. So if you've ever had a case where your beats are sounding sick on your speakers but then you play it on a phone and it's sounding dead, you could quickly check what it would sound like on a smartphone before you export it. Let's just quickly test that. So if we go to smartphone, so straight away you can see by the curve that smartphones don't have a lot of bass, so obviously your bass is less likely to be heard on a smartphone. But in which case you might want to add some saturation to get some of those upper frequencies. But yeah, I'm just going to go back to flat target and then just double check my mix. I think everything else should be okay. So yeah, just a couple minor tweaks in the mix, just basic leveling. But I just think this tool's sick for cross-referencing because you can literally map out any room you're in and save the profiles. And if you're only using headphones, you don't even need the microphone to set everything up. You can just download the software. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish arranging this beat and then I'll show you the final outcome. So yeah, in the intro, I'm just starting with the guitar and some of the vocals and introducing a counter melody. I've got the EQ off too, so you can hear the bass. So yeah, in the hook, we have everything. So it's mainly the strings that are separating the hook. And then I just changed a couple notes in the 808, just at the end. So for the verse, literally just have the guitar and the drums, and then I slowly bring in the vocals. But this one's cut up a bit more. And then added that break there when the bass hit. So I hope you liked the video and I hope you're feeling the beat. And if you like the look of SoundID Reference, you can get a free 21-day trial using the link in the description. So shout out to Sonarworks for sponsoring the video. I appreciate you all for watching it once again.